Welcome to the TFW podcast. That's freaking wrestling. I did the math. Episode 226. Rhodesia.
You can't be serious right now, though, right?
Yeah, why? What happened?
Because the last episode I said it was 225. You're like, oh, that number is falsity.
Yeah, you never know. Always gotta what they say?
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify, man. I don't trust you. I can't go off of what you say. Rhodesia's rumors has never really been a thing, even though it should have been a thing. And then those rumors were really bad. So you tell me it's 225. It may have been 228. It could have been 220. But we here though.
Hey.
That's Kept Secret and Wrestling Podcast. What's up?
Hi.
Y'all know what it is. I am your favorite talker out in these wrestling streets, Matt, joined by that beautiful lady over there, Rhodesia. Do you have I can't see exactly, even though you're in the other room. Is that like the Rock type turtleneck? Or what you got? Oh, you got the TFW.
It's my TFW pod jacket.
On.
Yep. I'm representing our brand. The brand. Plus, I don't really have anything on underneath it.
Now we talking. Yeah, Rena. We got to wait that for the Patreon, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Look, usually we get like a whole, cold open where we talk and we bring up something. I just wanted to get to it. This is a big week in the world of professional wrestling. We know that, and particularly in the world of WWE. I just want to get to it. You talked last week about not knowing what you needed. At one point, you was talking about AJ Lee, or not AJ Lee, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I like that, AJ Lee. That could be their tag team name.
It's probably where the inspiration came from.
AJ Lee ain't using it. I mean, I think we've seen her twice in like 5 months. I think they can take her name.
Yeah.
But you said, so like, I didn't know if I needed it. But now you have it. You kind of like, I'm here for it.
Gosh.
I didn't know I needed
AJ Styles.
I'm not talking about AJ Styles.
Okay.
I'm talking about AA. And even though it's John Cena week, we are not talking about attitude adjustment.
Oh, okay.
Anybody who's been a longtime listener of the TFW podcast know I am a major fan of Back and Ass. And the original Back and Ass was Liv Morgan and Raquel, right? And then just a few months ago, we had an upgraded 2.0 Back and Ass with Roxanne and Raquel. This Monday on Raw, I got something I never knew I needed until I saw it. And now I don't think I can go without it. Raquel, your time has come. I want you to become champion, singles champion. Don't ever touch tag team gold again. Leave that specifically for Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. The iteration of ass and ass is here, Rhodesia. Good God, man. Are you kidding me?
I don't even know what to say at this point.
You ain't got to say nothing. You just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Ass and ass is here. So we went from Back and Ass 1.0, Back and Ass 2.0 to Ass and Ass 1.0.
So you come on here, and this is John Cena last week of wrestling. He's about to retire. This is the last week of work. And you come on here talking about booty cheeks from two wrestlers? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, actually.
On this amazing pro wrestling podcast? Is that we objectifying booty cheeks? When we're supposed to be sitting here, and we stand up here and we're supposed to talk about all the fantastic things that John Cena has done in this last week. On every single episode of whatever pro wrestling we're watching, they have to put in a John Cena clip. You come on here and you start as what you call Block A on A&A.
See, even now you talking. That's AAA right there. Absolutely. I thought it was incredible. And anybody who watched it had to think it was fantastic too.
Okay. All jokes aside, well, I know you're not joking, but for me, all jokes aside, I was actually kind of excited about this because the last time we saw them together, it was supposed to be Liv going for the championship. And then we see kind of this whole thing and even Liv checking Raquel in the back like, yo, what's up with that? Why didn't you just tell me? I just knew in that moment, like, boom, this is where it's about to happen. Happen quick, but this is where it's about to happen. And it didn't. And she's like, well, no, I just wanted to make sure that we were aligned so I can help and root for you. Do you feel like in that moment, now it was going to transpire in the weeks and weeks to come, but in that moment, did you feel like Liv was a true, like, I can take a step back and let you go for the championship?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. We are in for some fun TV. everything she's done since she's been back, I think, has been like a ruse. I don't think any of it's
Okay.
real.
Okay. That's kinda the vibe that I got too
Yeah.
about her.
I think she's in for self. I think, of course, she showed that a week ago when she's like, "Y'all got the tag team titles. I got my watch on Stephanie." And then when Raquel did, and Raquel was within her right to do what she did
Mhm.
because Nikki did stick her nose in their business from that perspective, but she moved on just a little too quick.
Yeah.
She moved on a little too quick, right to
Like
Roxanne.
in real time.
Yeah,
Like in
yeah,
real time processing it. To the
yep.
point where everybody's like,
So
"Ooh," and even Dom and, Finn was like, "Well, they're bonding. They're bonding. I like this look on them. They're bonding."
I'm excited, man. Like seriously, like all jokes aside, just from a wrestling TV perspective, I think we're
Mhm.
in for some fantastic storylines with the Judgment Day.
And, we've been talking about this now for probably the last 3 years about Judgment Day, and yeah, at one point, they kinda got stale because we saw them 2 to 3 times in an episode on Raw and SmackDown, and so we were kinda getting a little fatigued with them, but what do you accredit this continuation of having 3 years as a faction and it still means something? Where do you credit this from?
Well, it means different iterations. So the original, you had Rhea in it, right, and
Mhm.
Priest. They were the heavy lifters. Liv is a heavy lifter. Dom is there. Then she went out, and then that was kind of like the ascension at that point of Finn, and I mean they really didn't do anything with the tag titles. I think they had it, what, 6 months, and they defended
Yep.
twice or once,
Like once
something
or
crazy.
twice, yep, mhm.
Yeah, but it wasn't much to it. You bring Roxanne in it, and now you got Liv back. So it's not like they've been the same 3 or 4 people. It's they kind of switch it out. Um, and that's what we'll talk about too. I'm excited for the Usos returning. Of course, a lot of
Hey.
people,
We'll get to that.
had a lot of stuff to
Ooh,
say. Yeah, we'll get to that too.
mhm.
But a little bit different than like what the Bloodline was. Bloodline was pretty stagnant. Yeah, they brought in Sammy, and it took off when they brought Sammy in. We still had the same core. With Judgment Day has been a little bit different, but it should be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And so, and this is probably a topic we could say for another day, has there been, because 'cause you've been watching wrestling 40 years, has there been another faction quite like this? Another 4 Horsemen was probably always just like the 4 of them and maybe a couple extra people in WO. Would you compare that this as of this moment, if wrestling in the world was to blow up today, would you compare Judgment Day at the top of that list of factions? As far as how long they've been relevant for, the length of time.
No, because for me, nobody has been made in the Judgment Day, right? Like DX, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn were made when they were in DX. They really weren't made yet. Evolution, Batista and Orton were made during that time in Evolution. They weren't made before that. Um, I mean, NWO was, they were all top guys. That's why that faction was so big. But the majority, like the best factions, are when they're made because of the faction. Like I'm never going to look back at Rhea Ripley's career and say the Judgment Day made her, or she was
But why
made in the
not?
Judgment Day.
But why not though? She was the leader of a male dominant faction, and she grabbed the bulls by the horn and took off. Like, why wouldn't you say that she was made because of the Judgment Day?
Because we saw it in her before she even got to that. That's why. And look what she's done since she's left the Judgment
Mm,
Day.
mhm.
That's why. Right? Like I can argue her biggest moments are going to come and have come outside of her being in the Judgment Day.
But okay, so then
You
this
could
would
maybe say that
probably
with Dom. So maybe Dom is the one where you would
mhm.
say he was the biggest while he was in Judgment Day, but of course Finn, no. Roxanne is so early in her run that we're not going to look at her as the Judgment Day. Like I don't even look at her like now as the Judgment Day. I just look at her as a member of the Judgment Day in this iteration of it now.
I was thinking about when you were talking as far as wrestlers, Rhea probably is for you the same as The Rock. Like, The Rock probably was gonna always be something and bright. He got in the Nation Domination. They maybe didn't make him, but then once he left the nation, he kinda just took off. Would you say that's a fair comparison?
Oh, see, no, because I mean that's a great like talking point, but no, because The Rock was struggling when he got to the Nation. Right? So Rock came in, babyface. That's Blue Chipper right there. JR. So that's Blue Chipper when he showed up at Survivor Series. And he was the flashy, smiley guy, and we wanted to cheer, we needed to cheer for him just because he was, third generation. Like, that was the gimmick. That was it. And then when that didn't work and he won the IC title from Triple H on that Raw show, and that didn't work, it was, okay, now what? And then he went out injured. And of course, he's told that story plenty of times. He's like, I'm gonna end up like not having a job if this continues. Just let me go out there and speak from the heart. And that's when he cut that promo. So the difference, I think, really with like Rhea was, now, yeah, she was struggling a bit when she first got to the main roster, and that was
She
more Vince not
absolutely
knowing
was.
how to use her than it was like her, in my opinion. But with The Rock, he was floundering. Like, he would have gotten released, kind of like Cena. That we saw before Cena started going out there and just kind of just rapping, and you let, legend tell it. Stephanie heard him rapping on one of the UK tours on the bus, and she was like, you got to bring that to TV. And then he, brought it to TV, and then of course, we're off and running. But Rhea was her when she got to the Judgment Day. Like, when she went to the Judgment Day, she had to look, and it was like, oh, okay, business is picking up now. When The Rock got to the Nation and Domination, it was more of, it's Farouk's group, and all right, he's black, so he put him in the Nation, and let's see what happens. And then of course he absolutely took off at that point. That's when he found his personality and everything else.
When did the Versace wearing Rocky happen? That's when I first started watching wrestling.
That's People's Champ right there.
Okay, when did the People's Champ happen? After
After he
Nation?
left the Nation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah. The People's Champ. Any chance he shows up Saturday for Cena's last match?
If you do, you have to come in truly a supportive, I don't even if that's a word, capacity. Like, you better just be like, we see you behind Gorilla, we see you out in the front row next to his wife or something like that. But it better not be nothing storyline, nothing like that, nothing kind of gimmicky or work. No, you go out there as just being a true supporter of this man. That's what, if Rock is there, and if we do see him, that is the only way I want to see him.
So what do you want out of this Saturday? Last match for Cena. He said, I promise I'm never wrestling again. He did sign, I think, a 5-year deal so far, like ambassador deal. So we know we're going to see him again, but working matches, things of that nature, it's over. Saturday is it. What do you want to see from John Cena and Gunther? And maybe also, is there anything that you don't want to see?
So I'm kind of still sitting here with some weird feelings, mainly because we're process of moving, all that stuff. I don't want to bore the listeners and viewers, but I don't know if I'm fully in the moment, being present, knowing that this is the final time we're going to see him wrestle a match. I don't even know if I even am happy that Gunther is the final person that he wrestles. Like, I think about, we talked about this on last episode, that we said you go down on your back. But regardless of that, winning or not winning, that last person you dance with was going to kind of be part of your legacy. That's going to be like the ending of that chapter. People are going to probably remember the first person you wrestle, if you make it super big in the industry, and the last person you wrestle. And just, to me, I don't even know if Gunther is somebody that I'm satisfied with having that match with him. So I'm kind of all over right now, like feelings, and not even really knowing the gravity of how important this final match of John Cena is. Like, I kind of wrote down on my notes of what I wanted to try to express on the show today. Like, this is a really emotional time for me. Like, I absolutely love John Cena. I mean, I could cry because how much I love John Cena. When people booed him, I still cheered him. I probably became a bad guy because I was cheering him when I was supposed to probably be booing him, because he was doing the same bull crap over and over and over again. He was only pandering to the little kids. And, at that time, I'm like, F them kids. I kind of feel like that now. F them kids. Them kids ain't paid any tickets to come here. The parents did. Point of what I'm getting at is, this is a very, very emotional week for me, knowing that this is the last time I'm going to see him wrestle. So I'm kind of like that. When you have a check engine light on, or if your car is making noises and you don't want to like acknowledge it, you just turn your radio up. That's kind of where I'm at right now emotionally, as far as watching and coming up to this last match. So to answer your question on what am I looking forward to, what I'm not looking forward to, what I would probably say the only thing I can think of in this moment is what I don't want to see is anything that's cheesy, anything that is cringeworthy done for Cena, not by Cena. Cena is a
Hmm.
cornball, so he could be corny and cheesy and do everything he wants to do. I just don't want any goofy, cringy storyline at the very end, like Logan Paul coming doing something mess. Like I don't want any of that. Please protect this final dance of John Cena.
It's interesting because if you think about like how this match was put together, and I said it on last week's show, we're gonna get only like a week build. A week in terms of the days, and maybe week
And we
also in WEAK.
last
It's
week.
because they don't have enough time. So on Raw, Gunther does his promo, and I thought the promo was, if this was not John Cena's last match and we had time, or I'm sorry, if this was not the go home promo, if I was doing a letter grade, I would give it an A because the promo was fantastic.
I agree
The
there.
problem with the promo was we're not going to hear from John Cena. So we watched SmackDown on Friday, and when LA Knight tapped to Gunther, I immediately knew that was going to be the story of the final match with John Cena and Gunther. Is Gunther's going to try to make John Cena tap? The guy who always said never give up. He's going to make give up. Right? Same thing once again, like right out of Rocky type thing. And he, said that on Raw's promo. Is that something that I'm going to break you? Something that you've never done, you're going to do. You're going to give up. What I would love to see is give me an old school Saturday Night's main event, Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart style promo in the back, where John Cena now states, we are in Washington, D.C., right? Go through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to make me give up, Jack? I've never given up. Just do the whole kid and caboodle and have that be the start of the show. Because the last thing we've heard from John Cena was when Gunther won on Friday, was John Cena tweets out. Actually, let me read it because I want to make sure that I get it right. Because when I saw the tweet, I said, okay, so we're going with like this gentleman's type match. But then when Gunther won and spoken to the camera, said, I'm gonna make you tap, and then what he said on Friday or on Monday, double down on it. I said, okay, well, that's not the story we're going with. So Cena said the stage is set for one last match. On a night of epic proportions, it's an honor to face off against an opponent who I respect, who has earned the right to issue this final challenge. I will bring my best. I know he will do the same. Don't miss the final time. That's the only thing he said so far about this match. That doesn't correlate and match to what the story we're going to be telling in the ring on Saturday night. So for me, it would be, man, this tournament should have ended like a week or two ago. And no, Cena doesn't have to be in the building to cut a promo or send in a promo and discuss his feelings. But imagine if we could have gotten a sit down with Michael Cole, who Michael Cole, if we were in the United States, I would try to find somewhere to bet to see if that man's going to cry on camera Saturday night because how much he loves John Cena. I would bet the over that
I bet the
there
over.
should be
As I'm
a
crying,
tear
I'll be bet
shed,
the over.
right, by Michael Cole. But imagine that scene of a sit down interview, the last interview that I ever do with John Cena. And we get into, of course, the career pieces and what that looks like. And he can tell John, thank you for what you've done for me. And no, thank you. And then we
Oh, I
now
get
move on to
emotional.
Gunther, right? Last match. Here's a guy who doesn't really respect what you've done. He called you a sports entertainer, but he said he's the best wrestler. He's already retired one legend on the same show you're going to be retiring on. What do you have to say to Gunther one final time before we get to Washington, D.C. and let Cena do his work?
Yeah. It feels like it's I don't want to say thrown together because it wasn't thrown together because we had the whole tournament. So there was some thought into it. It just seemed like the timing was off. And that's probably one of the also the feelings of why I told you that I'm kind of just all over the place and how I don't even have a real feeling about this because it was so quick. I mean, literally, it was Saturday or whatever day that was till 1 week later. And now there's no build. Again, the gravitas of this moment. This is his final wrestling match. This is it. This book is being closed as a professional athlete, and we have a 1 week build of it. Like, to me, I just feel like is us as fans is being a little bit let down. But I also feel like maybe that John Cena feel like this is how my last match is gonna go. Is this how it's gonna be? But I guess his focus and his legacy is to try to lift up the younger people and get them developed into stars, and that's great and that's amazing. Bravo to you if you could do that after your professional wrestling active career is done. But before that, like, I would just feel like you made everything about everybody else this whole year. Couldn't you have some selfishness in this final match?
No, because I'm not here for that. So even, I mean, I'm looking at Saturday Night's Main Event's card. And just to be clear, I cannot wait for Saturday Night's Main Event. I am more excited for this Saturday Night's Main Event than any Saturday Night's Main Event they've done since they brought it back this year or last year, whenever I can't remember now. I'm locked in. I'm staying up. Now remember, we are 6-hour time difference. So that's going to come on at 2 a.m. our time. I will be up Sunday morning at 2 a.m. live to watch this show. So I am locked in. But even if you look at the card,
Which I am
AJ
now.
Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. AJ Styles, legend, tag team champions with Dragon Lee. Young, up and coming rookies, quote unquote, opportunity. Javon and Leon. I think that match is going to be tremendous. Bayley versus Sol Ruka.
Mm-hmm.
Bayley, arguably top two, however you want to look at it, in the Four Horsewomen. There's probably a lot of people who have Bayley on their women's Mount Rushmore versus Sol Ruka, which I think the world of. But same thing, right? Legend, young up and comer. Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi.
The
Need
internet
more
is
to be said, right?
exactly. We said the internet is going crazy over that. I mean, like, no lie, it's almost like the Obafemi and Cody Rhodes is outshining, and it makes me think about the comment that you made about Obafemi not being miss. What is it? Not miss. And I know I'm taking that a little bit out of context of what you brought that up and how you brought that up, but the internet is like super excited for the Obafemi Cody Rhodes match. I feel like even more so than the John Cena Gunther match.
And then you have John Cena and Gunther. And I think anybody who may feel like Gunther should be John Cena's final opponent is because of just their love of Gunther. We all love Gunther. I don't think I've ever heard anybody who says they don't like Gunther. I don't think there's anything not to like about Gunther. If you're talking about from not the character, if you're talking about like the wrestling and what he does. But even that match doesn't make sense to what the rest of the card is. Now, I completely don't think it should have been a up and comer with the last match, right? Like I was not a proponent of Carmelo Hayes.
But that was because mainly
really
how they've been
forced.
booking Carmelo, I
Correct.
feel, over
So
the last year.
But that's how they've been booking them. So now
Yeah.
you can't just hot shot him to the last match with
For
Cena.
sure. For sure. But then
I
that's when it
would've
should have been into with Dom.
But I would have been open to what Don wasn't in the tournament.
Right. But I'm saying,
Right,
but if we're just talking about the person, if we were just arguing, because I think you made a comment about anybody who's saying they wanted Gunther to be that person is because they love Gunther. But I'm saying if we're not looking at anything, any storyline that happened, just the actual talent themselves, it could have been Dom.
Or, really somebody that has a connection to John Cena. There's got to be somebody on the roster that has a connection with Cena where the match makes sense. I would have even preferred Brock to have been Cena's last match. Now, the story, you don't want to squash him. And then something else I was thinking about too, Cena's been doing a lot of interviews this week. I haven't seen any of them. I've only seen a couple of clips. And the one clip I saw was they asked him, like, what was the original plan for the heel turn? And he said, who cares? Like, let's move on. Well, we all care, John. That's
Right,
who everybody
right.
cares.
Everybody cares.
And the other thing he said was he was talking about Brock, and he was saying that, that match wasn't about him. It was about building up Brock. He also said something that was pretty interesting, where he said Brock's coming around the tail end of his career. He's going to be wrapping up in Minnesota. And I think he said SummerSlam 2026. And then he kind of backtracked a little bit and was just like, was soon, sooner rather than later. And he's like, basically give him the equity because he's going to be here, next month, and I'm not going to. And then I thought about, okay, which we knew that. I mean, I think we even talked about it, and I said that. I'm like, I know that was his mentality at the time. If they do Gunther and Brock, which is a dream match for a lot of people, if they go with the we both beat Cena, okay, I still think, as I said last week, I think Cena has to go over. I think that helps Dom. Even if you look at, they've been showing a lot of the ruthless aggression, promo they cut on Kurt Angle, and then he gets the handshake and the rub with Undertaker later on that night in the back. Quiet as kept, John Cena lost that match. You don't have to.
I don't remember that.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't, because they don't talk about it. Because that's not part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the story is he's coming in, this punk kid, smacking Kurt Angle, and then getting the rub later on that night with Undertaker. We're off and running. You don't have to have Gunther beat him. Now, I'm not going to be upset with anything that they do. I would think it would be hilarious if Gunther does make him tap. Is John Cena going to tap? I hope absolutely not. His whole thing is never give up. But as we've seen with John Cena matches, there is going to be a story shown to you before they even get into the ring. And the story is going to be that false finish submission spot where it looks like Cena should tap. And Cena does not tap, right? And the crowd's going to come, and it's going to be a great move. They did the same thing with Roman and Cena at SummerSlam in Vegas, where Cena basically, when he came back, and he was just like, look, you are better than me right now, but all it takes is 3 seconds to beat you. And I was like, okay, so there's going to be a spot in the match that it's just going to be the false finish of all false finishes. And they did it. It was like 2.99 and Roman kicks out. So the match is going to be fun. But I am interested and intrigued to see what kind of match do they work. Do they work a strictly straight up one-on-one match? Do they work a match where there is every bell and whistle thrown in, where we get run-ins, where we do get some surprises, where we do get some legends and things of that nature? I just want him going out with the biggest bang possible, because he absolutely deserves that. So I'm locked in. I am locked in for this Saturday.
I'm not ready.
What else? I wanted to talk about, it was something else. Oh, so with the card, how you feel about the card? Are you excited for Cody and Oba? Are you excited for Bayley and Soul? Are you excited for Javon?
Real talk. It seems like since Saturday night's main event has come back, I haven't really cared for any of them. Like, I don't. Like, and I just think it's still on par. I don't know if it's like it was the omen, because I could never get Saturday night's main event out right.
Saturday nights, man. Saturday nights.
No, it can't. No, it should be Saturdays, but Saturday nights.
It should not.
It just hurts in my head. Like, I can't get that off. So maybe it's just an omen from that. So I'm like, well, F it. If I can't even say it, then I don't want to watch it. So, but how I feel about it, I take away the Cena and Gunther, Cena being his final match. Of course, I'm here for it, because we're going to see a lot of this young talent be in the ring with trusted, incredible veterans. I mean, that is like when the circle and the cycle is working perfectly. You're giving these young people who has shown that they can do a little something on a big stage with a veteran that's going to take care of them in that ring. Like, this is like such a huge honor for the young people in this match coming up. And I know that they feel that way, but you're about to dance in front of all these millions of eyes with somebody that won't let you mess up. Like, to me, that gives me a certain energy vibration on it that I would like to be able to see. So how I feel about the card, whatever, but it's cool because we're going to have young people with these veterans in there dancing, and there's going to be little things they're going to pick up. If they're open and present about it, they're going to pick up from these veterans.
So when you say whatever, you're not excited for this show? You don't think this show's card is great?
No. Mm-mm. But this is also it's a four match card. So
their pay-per-views are 5-match cards. What's your point?
That even the 5th match is still a little bit more than a 4-match. Like
Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi. You don't care about that match? Just yes or no?
Yes, because the
internet
has
no.
because the
Bayley
internet has
no. You don't care about seeing Sol Ruka and Bayley work a match?
Can you let me finish
about how great Sol Ruka is? You don't care about her getting this spotlight? Just yes or no. You said I don't care about
Did
the
you
show.
not hear Did you not hear everything I just said beforehand? I know you were looking down, looking at something, but I'm telling you, I'm excited anytime I can see somebody who's on a up and coming, a youngster getting
You
in.
do care about the show.
Yeah, but you said like super excited about it. No, I'm not super
Yeah.
excited about it.
Wow. Okay.
I'm
That's interesting.
not. I'm really not. And again, could it be because this is going to be John Cena's last match? So subconsciously, I don't give a crap about this show? Maybe. Maybe not. I just know it's going to be really great wrestling. I am going to watch it. I'm going to be happy to watch it. But it's not like, oh, I cannot wait to watch this card. Like, this card is going to be so amazing. This is going to be probably one of the best non-episodic television wrestling shows of the year. I'm not feeling that. Is that what you're expecting me to say or to think or feel?
No, because I don't know if I expect that. I think my excitement comes from the excitement for the younger talent to get the opportunity. That's number one.
I led my whole thing. I led with that. I said that. That was the whole thing I led with.
But the second part of it is, I think there's an opportunity for us to be having conversations about maybe not Becky and Soul, a
Bayley?
spot in each of these matches that is going to be memorable.
Well, yeah, but I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I can see that. For sure, I can see that it could be memorable. But also, would that come from something that was a drastic move that they did, which would be kind of like the same thing of like when we talk about getting mileage out of things that you do? Or do you mean something more like storytelling in the match itself? What do you mean by memorable?
Well, the story could be Cody and Oba. And then the move should be something, of course, out of Javon. Javon needs to pull
So that's what I'm saying. But again,
Javon and Dragon Lee, do something.
We talk about
and
that.
shout
all
out
the
to
time.
Leon Slater. I want to shout him out because what a spot for him. TNA wrestler, not even under WWE contract, and on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess he was scheduled to work an indie show Saturday and he got pulled. And it's like, dude, that's the breaks. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. The whole we wish we would have had advance notice. Well, there is no advance notice. Like he's working WWE.
Not right. I mean, we know that there are a pool of young talent now who their big leagues is not the WWE. When they leave their wrestling career, they don't care if they don't ever make it to WWE. But in the whole grand totality of things, you're working these indie shows so that you can get to WWE. Peace out. All right.
Or
I
AEW,
have other plans,
or
or
whatever
AEW.
that looks like.
I have
You don't
plans
have to
for
work the
I have plans this Saturday night. Saturday
things
night.
to do.
I got something a little important thing to do this Saturday.
I got stuff to do. I want to bring up a tweet really quick that I saw a few days ago, and I don't understand the thinking of this. So this was when they announced Cody and Oba. Somebody said this really should be the Levesque litmus test. He should absolutely obliterate Cody. But this is going to unfortunately end in no contest with Drew interfering, where he goes on to beat Drew again, laugh out loud, or just him beating Oba clean. I don't care about the last part of that statement because that's just booking. After, right? In what world? And of course, I said something to it. That is a horrendous idea. I don't have a problem if he would have just said, "Hey, this is a Triple H litmus test. He has to have Oba beat Cody." I don't have a problem with that statement. Even if I disagree, I don't have a problem with it. Obliterate Cody? So you want an NXT wrestler who's going to be in NXT for at least another month. At least another month. To squash the heavyweight champion for what? That makes no sense.
In the spirit of Christmas. Big words. Big words. Litany test. I don't even know what a litany test is, so I'm only using context clues. Litmus test. I'm just going based off of context clues on the rest of the sentence. Is the person trying to say that Triple H is just measuring his penis by having Cody go over on a black man? Is that where we're going with that?
No, you are the ChatGPT person. At this point, this is where you pull out your Googles.
I left my phone in the other room. I'm so upset. I could have pulled up litany. No, I would have. I would have.
Test, not litany. I don't know what you'd be looking for, but it is litmus test. Okay,
it rhymes with witness, right? But okay,
I think that's ridiculous. That is a wild take.
So
again, I have no problem if Oba beats Cody Saturday night. I'd be like, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Squashing, obliterating your world champion. For what? Then where does that leave Cody next Friday night on SmackDown? Like, we just got to think sometimes. And the crazy part about it was, like, he had numerous likes when I saw it. I'm just like, yo, you got people to agree
Yeah,
with you on that?
I think
That's
when
crazy.
you look at the size difference, this goes back to what I always talk about for years about the believability factor on a lot of the leaner, smaller wrestlers versus a lot of the more massive wrestlers. But Cody's not a little person. Cody's a heavyweight himself. But I think that if you just look at the two of them, not knowing pro wrestling, that's the difference. You're just looking at the two of them. Oba should squash Cody. He should. He's massive. But that's not pro wrestling. This isn't UFC where this is a shoot, fight, fight, fight. No, this is professional wrestling where there's storylines that has to be maintained. You build
Oba's not
characters up.
squashing Javon. And they had a
Right.
tremendous match
Right.
on NXT. Even if anybody who's listening does not watch NXT consistently or weekly or at all, watch Obafemi versus Javon Evans from last night's NXT show. Maybe the match of the week for me. I got to think because I really enjoyed some of the stuff on Deadline, which I want to hit toward the end of the show. That match they worked the hell out of that match. Kudos to them, but he didn't squash Javon. So why in the world would he squash Cody? That was just that was crazy to me.
I think maybe if you have the Drew interference, then that can get a point where Oba can win. I just think that in no world where it's a clean match should Oba beat Cody, and then there should be nowhere where like Cody dominates Oba, or there should be no domination in it. I mean, if it was, it should still be Cody because he is your heavyweight champion. But I just don't think that there should be any domination in there at all. The obliteration not even been a word used in that sentence on either side of it.
Yeah, because that's a squash match,
Yeah.
right? If you say obliterate,
Yeah.
you're looking at Brock Lesnar versus John Cena this year. That's what you're looking at, right? It's a squash match. You're not squashing Cody. Now, should there be spots in that match where Oba is dominant? Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
But that's selling a story in the ring, though.
Correct.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
That is part of it.
That's crazy talk. But yeah, I'm here for it. I'm excited for it. WWE has done some good stuff over the last week. If you look at Deadline and you look at Raw, then I don't really want I'll count NXT on Tuesday. 3 really super strong shows. Raw was a really good show this past Monday. Braun Breaker, 2 for 2 in back-to-back promos. I was happy to see that. The ending of that show was like super disjointed. I knew they were still on air, but it felt like there was a segment. Yeah, it felt like there was a segment that fell off the show, and like in real time, they was just out there like figuring it out. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Braun's promo. I enjoyed seeing LA Knight get destroyed.
Yes,
because
he's gonna be gone, right, for a while.
Means more for him.
Yeah, but
right?
that ass whipping though should deserve being gone for some weeks. Correct. Okay, because I'm like that. He got tsunami bombed on top of the car. Isn't that what took out Seth like years ago, like 2 years ago?
No, that was in the ring. That was after SummerSlam. That's what took out Ricochet.
Got it. Okay. Yes. There we go. That's what I knew somebody got taken out by that for good. Oh no, LA Knight's gone.
Took him out on Mondays, showed him up on Wednesdays.
No.
But
LA Knight's gone.
I loved it. Like I loved it. I saw people on social media complaining about his booking. This is part of this is part of the bigger story, right? If you thought he was going to beat Gunther to face John Cena, that's your fault. Nothing was shown that was going to be the case. If you thought he should have won Money in the Bank, that's your fault. He wasn't winning the title in 2025. Any title in 2025. This is the part of the story now that is going to take him, in my opinion, to that next level in regards to storyline. For one, he is involved with the top heel faction on Monday Night Raw each and every week. So that shows he's getting pushed. Because it was this whole thing about like, they're not treating him right, they're not pushing him right. He's on the show every single week. You listen to his crowd reactions. what they're doing with him is working. So when they had the beatdown and nobody came to save him, I'm like, this is great. This is great for LA Knight, because when he comes back, he's going to have even more crowd support on him because he's doing it on his own, right? Once again, Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2025. A lot of that is just built out of the renegade babyface who just would not quit, who just would not stay down, who just would not say no. We saw all that on Monday Night's Raw. So I liked it. I liked it.
I think that you hit the nail on the head. I was going to try to get to the point before you with the whole LA Knight thing. This is drastically different than them burying LA Knight year over year over year. Before, my gripe with LA Knight, and it's been known how I feel about him, they would put him in these matches and then he loses clean. Put him in these matches, put him in a tournament, do a whole damn tournament for him just for him to lose in the end clean, not win the gold. There's a difference between like that to like build like that babyface chasing, but it'll be different type of championship, different tournaments and stuff. And you just burying him, even though you hear this ovation from the crowd. The difference is, like you said, now you have your top heel faction beating you up every week. That means that they're scared of you. That means that they don't want you to come up there with them. That now gives me that engagement into the character of LA Knight, because maybe LA Knight may not win this next match, probably because he's going to get some interference from them. But I know that I can root for him because he's going to be the underdog here. Completely different when I'm like, I love this guy. I love this guy. Oh, he goes to the tournament, boom, and then he loses. Oh, let me try again one more time. Are you going into this next one? Oh, nope, loses clean, flat in the middle of the ring. It's a completely difference on how you build. So people tripping about LA Knight being his booking now, where were y'all the last year and a half, 2 years? I don't have a problem at all.
Still bitching about his
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with, because it makes him more meaningful now. Because now he's a threat, and they have to make sure that they keep him in line. I'm 100% okay with this, because he still isn't going to be your heavyweight champion, but this is still making him important and meaningful.
And that's the thing, right? What's next for him? Like when he does come back and he gets through the vision, because to your point, he's not winning the Rumble, which then means he's not getting a title shot at WrestleMania unless they do something like IC. And once again, I mean, IC isn't what it used to be, but you kind of can maybe argue that he's too big for the IC belt. But the way Gunther had his reign a couple years ago, maybe not. But I'm excited to see, it's going to be very interesting to see what they end up doing with him, because right now you kind of don't see a spot. I mean, his spot is going to be what his spot is, which is upper mid-card, top, bottom end main event level spot with no title involved, because you can't just continue to throw him out there for title matches and he loses. You can't do that.
No, because that's what I did not like about what they were doing back there. Why I would protect my feelings for LA Knight. Like I'm not gonna get excited for him. I'm not gonna cheer for him. I'm not gonna boo for him. I'm not gonna get invested in his character in any way, because they did me dirty for so long. But this time, like I said, this is different. It is completely different than what it used to be.
It's the conversation we were having about Jay this time last year, right? When he would be in every big spot and he would lose. And we're like, all right.
Saturday Night's main event.
And yeah, and I was in that January, like out of nowhere. He's like, I'm going for some gold.
Like, what?
And he loses to Gunther, and we're just like, for what? And then he won the Rumble and won WrestleMania. That's not going to happen with LA Knight next year.
It was actually December. It was Armageddon.
Okay, enough. And that's why I'm so excited for Jay and Jimmy to be back as a tag team, because his time is over as a top singles guy. It is. And there's nothing wrong with that. He has been a top single star for a year. He's not going to get the title again.
Though.
But it wasn't, because we still going to be yeeting. And the reason why I love this so much is this gives that tag division, I don't care, there's only one team. The star power now in that tag division is completely different than it was before Monday Night Raw started. Jimmy is a star. Jay, of course, is out of here. We see yeet cams now in NBA games. We saw how that crowd reacted again to the yeeting. Yeeting's not going nowhere. The yeeting is working. We're going to bring it back in the middle of the match, in the middle of promos. It works. People are paying to yeet. It's here to stay. you had just injected so much life into the tag division by putting Jay back into that. And now for the people who bitched and moaned and complained about his work style, wasn't nobody bitching and moaning and complaining about his work style when him and Jimmy was running the tag division, and they are easily a top 2 tag team of all time.
But people
Right,
did get
so
tired of them. So again, not to have recency bias, but people did get tired of them. Because I said it, you've said it. I'm tired of seeing tune in on this Thursday or this Friday, because it was different days, of SmackDown when it is the New Day versus the Usos. And we're like, we've seen this how many times? Oh, and they've always put on great matches. So that's not the issue there. But we did say, like, oh my God, like this is enough now. Is there not anybody else out there? But I agree with what you're saying as far as on the front part of that. But there are people who are like, no, but it's been enough time since that. I think that this would be a really great thing for the tag division. When they kind of announced it in the ring and Jimmy was talking, and I'm like, oh, that's the old Jimmy I remember when they first kind of debuted. It always felt like Jimmy had a little more swag than Jay. And then we saw how things kind of played out. But Jay even looked sad when Jimmy was like, we're now back a tag team. Did you pay attention to that?
no, he
He even
didn't,
looked
Rhodesia.
down and he kind of shook his head like this. Yes,
Yeah,
he did. Go back and play.
Just like when y'all was saying months ago,
he did.
like, no, his tag team guy, and I kept telling y'all got this messed up.
Go
Jay
back and
is like
watch it.
checked off everything off of his list. He said he wanted to be IC champion. Check off. He was world champion. He won it at WrestleMania. Check off. I love doing this with my brother. This is what we do.
That. They
Believe
said before
me,
that they never
he's
wanted
ecstatic.
to have an individual career.
And you know how much he's gonna save on his bump card by working these tag matches?
For sure. But
What
then
you talking
that
about?
now even furthers my point, and I just got aggressive right there.
You sure
furthers
did.
My
furthers. What you
my
turn
point
into?
about how
my headphones off.
how irritated I was freaking last Monday when he left there. The woe is me. My cousin even told me that I was a piece of shit and I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing right. And then okay, so now I'm gonna demote myself back to the tag team. Like, no, stop. You didn't even have to say all that. If you're gonna, because now you make it seem like, to me, if I'm a tag team, if that is like my jam, let's say, out of all types of wrestling, tag team is my most important thing of pro wrestling. I'm like, well, fuck you then, Jay. I don't want you a part of this tag team division, because it feels like you're taking a step down. And it shouldn't feel like that if it was done right. That's my honest opinion. It shouldn't feel that.
Disagree.
No,
because
it feels
Jimmy
like you're taking a step down.
Why. Now, say if Jimmy didn't explain how and why, I completely understand. I completely would be on the same page as you. So they gave the reason why. Jimmy said, I called him and told him, man, get out his feelings, dude. It's time for us to get back together. And we can get our goal. If he didn't say that, say they just showed up and was just like, it's our time again, you'd be like, yo, where'd this come from? They actually told you, though, why. And I was like, that's awesome. Shout out to whoever knew to connect that dot and connect those dots.
Well, okay. Maybe in my brain, I didn't remember hearing or seeing that. So that will make me feel a little bit different, because they closed that gap there, or they drew that dot connection for me. Okay. I mean, that's a little bit better. That's a lot better. So I'll take my brow back.
What I'm really excited for, too? What if they don't win the championship?
Oh, shoot.
There's nothing to say that the storyline has to end.
But I will say
because
this,
people
though,
are taking this as the storyline the storyline's over now. What happened with the whole thing where Roman was telling Jay, relax. I'm not saying that WWE's done everything right this year. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is this is not a foregone conclusion that they are all of a sudden now just next week going to win the championships.
But
what if they don't win the championship?
They just put them there, so then now they can put on a great match with the Usos, so Usos can to reclaim their championship. You don't want to put it on in a real tag team. You wouldn't want to put that on the New Day, so then now Usos are going to come in and yank it and debo it. As soon as they got back together, Jimmy and Jay, I was like, oh, then that's why AJ Styles and Dragon Lee's together. That's it. This makeshift tag team partnership. Boom. Put on two people that can wrestle and go in the ring, make it respectful with AJ Styles' name on it, but boom, drop it to the Usos right away. So I am from that school that, yes, Usos should get it right away.
That's what is called a transitional champion. And people take that as so negative and disrespectful, and it's not. Time it can be, but in this situation, it's not.
Yeah, because they trust you, and I can't even say most cases, but ideally, that transition in champion, there's still some respect there because they know that you're going to still have some pride with this championship. We're not completely saying, oh, you're just a piece of crap, boom. They still trust you enough to be a champion until we can further out this other storyline. So yeah, in probably most cases, a transitional champion, when done well, you need that. Just like you need winners and losers in matches, that you need a transitional champ from time to time.
Time to time, you need it.
Yep.
I wanted to pull up, Bayley was talking earlier this week about talent leaving shows early. She says she doesn't understand it. And I loved it once. I'm like, damn, Bayley, like you are in that role now. You are the old grizzled veteran that are complaining about the young kids leaving the shows early. And I'm not saying she's wrong. That's what I kind of just want to talk about. She says, that just blows my mind. When I first got on the road, all the live events, it's like, okay, you always watch. Cena watched everything. Roman watched everything. Seth is always at the front monitor. If you're at the live events, you come back through the curtain. There's that monitor right there. And then you have the talent viewing. I always liked watching at that front monitor because you could hear the crowd better. And I also get to, when people come back, they ask Seth, oh, what did you think? And then I can hear what he's saying to them. So I'm learning too. But then lately, there's some people who just leave. And Seth comes back for the main event and nobody's there. You just asked for his advice and now nobody's here. That drives me crazy. Or if some people aren't on the show, they just take off. And I just can't. I've had this conversation with some people and I just don't get it. It's different and I don't know what's missing or if there's something. Like for me, I'm trying to lead by example. So I would hope that some of the girls see that I'm still here. Or I'm not booked, but I'm in Gorilla. Or I'm not booked, but I'm watching the girls' matches no matter what. And that would be like, oh, maybe I should stay too. Something that some may not.
I know you read that to get my thoughts on it. So I'll just say this. Very old school talent wrestler etiquette is what it sounds like. Not a pro wrestler, but from what I've gathered from you, from what I've witnessed, being a part of Warrior, that's just part of like the etiquette that you build together as wrestlers, as partners, people, this fraternity that you have as a team. I also hear that there are another generation there that is very selfish. And I'm saying this in this way because that's just kind of like we make fun of the baby boomers. We talk about certain generations above us, like, yeah, I do realize that you didn't have to work every day until you died and then blah, blah, blah. But this younger generation, if it doesn't necessarily benefit them in this particular moment, they have now moved on to something else. And I call that selfish, not like in a disrespectful way, but that's just them doing what they want to do. And what I have to kind of learn dealing with, or in the past at least, dealing with this younger generation, that is how their brain operates. You can talk to them until you're blue in the face, like, hey, you just asked me for help. Why when I come back here, you're not watching it? Because they've already thought about something else that they're doing. Call it attention span. I don't care what you call it, but in their mind, it's not important to them in that particular moment. I don't think that is going to necessarily change. Now, if she says she's talked to some people that I've said, don't leave right away. Some of these people, age-wise, I'm taking out the wrestling part of it, just age-wise, they're just going to go do whatever they want to do. The younger generation, if it doesn't benefit them in that moment, they don't care. And there is actually some beauty in that for someone like me who is a little bit older, where I'm like, that is like, yeah, I wish I was more like that when I was a little bit younger. Like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I don't have to always listen to what everybody says, or yeah, I can like go out there and make my own mistakes. But for someone like our age group, Bayley in there, she's like, what the fuck, yo? Like, how is your main event coming back at the end of his match or her match? And everybody not back here clapping and rooting on your teammate. This person, like old school, they put food on your table for your kids and your wife to eat. Why aren't you back here supporting them? They just won't understand it. They just can't understand it. And again, it is something just in their brain on how they're developing. When I'm saying this in generalization, this is the majority. The majority could be 51% out of 100. But that is just how it operates, at least from what I've witnessed in my past careers. that younger generation, you're like, hey, you asked me for help on this. I try to tell you how to do it. And then you go do something else. And when you approach it, it's like, oh, okay. But in that moment, I was thinking about doing something. I had to take care of something else. I don't think there's anything ill will to those people who are leaving matches, who are not back there. They just don't get it. And they don't understand like that absence, how much volumes that speaks.
Yeah, I mean, so when I read it, I laughed because I was like, damn, that's crazy. Because I remember Bayley coming in as a rookie, right? Like, damn, you're already at that point now of you are the veteran. Saying and thinking the same things the veterans used to think 20 years ago before you came into the business. And then you look at, like, take any professional sport. Your best players film study and get up 3, 4, 5 hours earlier than everybody else. And they're at gym. They're at practice. They are getting their massages. They're not hanging out at the club because they know what the sleep means. And the foods that they're eating, their diet looks completely different than the young rookies that come in because they're younger and they can just get over on their athleticism for the first 5, 6 years. And then they got to start dialing their stuff in too. And that's kind of what I think about when I see this, right? Like, to your point, man, I just want to work. Yeah, I want to be great. I just want to work, have fun, man, get on social media. Check out what people are saying about my matches.
Yeah.
Where she looks at it and she knows, but yo, you are missing out on all the game. And the other part I'm sure she's thinking about too is we used to be on the road 250 days out of the year. We were working 200 plus matches a year. Now, we're lucky if we're working 50 matches a year. So, yo, we are working a fourth of what we used to work. So even the learning time is, hey, look, while you're here, you need to be all in. You need to be locked in. Okay, I don't care if you are scheduled for tonight's show. If you aren't, even better. You can sit down and watch everything. Take everything
in. Real quick,
in.
Not to cut you off because I want you to keep going, but it goes back to what you just said about those live events and how important that was to wrestlers to be able
to
learn.
Invaluable, man.
They were exactly.
Invaluable. And no, I don't want anybody having to work and bumping 200 nights a year. They don't have to, of course. And they're making the same money, if not more money than they were making before, right? The longevity on your body. But when you're talking about learning, so I think about NXT Deadline, which is a perfect segue. And there is this tradition in wrestling that you need to be working 10, 15 years before you get pushed properly, before you get the championship. Mark Henry tweeted out a couple weeks ago talking about Javon Evans, I think it was, and said, man, in 15 years, he'll be championship title worthy.
Ooh.
That is so old school thinking. And it hurts the wrestling business. What the old veterans will say, maybe without even saying it, is you got to pay your dues. Right? You got to pay your dues. Okay, think about a Brock Lesnar. He came in, they put the rocket on him because they saw some in him that was special, and he is still special to this day. Now, you can say, but yeah, Matt, Brock Lesnar quit WWE and went to go play football because he ain't like traveling. Touche. But he came back, and they're evidently using him and making money with him because they keep bringing him back, and he keeps getting reactions, and he keeps putting people over, and he keeps doing things that he needs to do to push their company forward. That's one. The Rock. Randy Orton. Now, yes, The Rock left to do movies. Randy Orton didn't leave, but he was the youngest champion in history when he won the title.
He was very childish. The reputation was he was very childish.
So he got in trouble so many times. They protected him because he was Randy, and that's Randy being Randy, et cetera, et cetera. But Randy's a GOAT. I use those people for examples because, yes, there is going to be some growing pains, possibly at times and such. But I look at NXT and I look at Obafemi. I look at Javon Evans. I look at Kendall Gray. And if you tell me, hey, and they are future main eventers, but if you look at them and tell me, yeah, but they need 10 more years before they can win the championship on Raw or SmackDown, what the fuck are we doing, man? No, they won't need that.
And they won't be there because if they can't stay to finish watching the show because they're going home for the day, they ain't gonna have time to stay there for 10 years before they get a proper push.
But that can be part of it, right? So then it's oh, they won't even stay and watch the whole show. Okay, they're not ready yet. I mean, I mean, there's politics in anything and everything. We know
Yeah.
that. There's gatekeepers, there's politics, there's all that. But there is a notion, this is outside of anything Bayley said. I think Bayley's accurate. I think she's 100% correct on that. Hey, stay, learn, do what you got to do. But if you don't want to, God bless. The cream rises to the top. And I would love a day where it is okay to put the title on Braun Breaker year one. And I don't care he hasn't shown he can do 32 interviews the week of WrestleMania and he's going to show up. I don't care about that, right? If somebody has it, let's see if they're that good, then we'll work through the process while they're doing it. And if not, okay, fine. But this thought of like, man, you got to be in the business and you got to just earn your keep and got to earn your dues for 10 to 15 years before we put you to the top spot. Now, maybe they know something that we don't, where it's like, oh, you're going to fail if you don't put that amount of time in. That could be something to that. We know anything that you do that is successful, you got to fail at it before you start because you're not ready for it. I was watching a interview with Jeezy and he was talking about how...
Who?
Jeezy.
Oh, okay.
He was talking about how, like, you got to be built for success, and you ask for success and you don't get it because, God is protecting you because you're not ready for it yet. You have to be ready for the success because if you're not, you're going to lose it all and you're not going to get it back. So you're asking for it, you don't get it. And then when you finally do get it, you realize like, oh, I wasn't ready when I thought I was ready. Right. So this could be that. But I just don't think it takes 10, 15 years.
And I will respect Mark Henry wholeheartedly in that comment that he made, and I can respect his conversation or his comment. And insider, and instead of but, and I think that would create an environment where we don't get young rising talent. And that is kind of the issue of what we're kind of seeing right now. Yes, the top is super busy. The top is super crowded on both sides, the men and female side, women's side, for sure. So yeah, I don't want someone coming right in because you can't be the world champion anyway, because everybody's already up there. I get that. But it still takes time to build that person up. But the young star problem is going to be an issue, I feel, with that thinking that Mark Henry has, at least how I've interpreted. Oh, in another 10 to 15 years, he'll probably be ready for a championship. No, I think he should begin a championship much sooner than that. But in 10 to 15 years from now, I bet you he's going to be even better. I'm not denying that. Even what we've done for a living, to become experts in management and this kind of stuff, we've had to learn to go through that. And you only get it through repetition. That is a fact. There's no shortcuts to it. It's just some hard work and dedication that you put into it. Now, you may have an opportunity, but opportunity is when luck and preparation meet, right? Or whatever the phrase is or saying. You still got to put some work in to get it. But I think if we go from what I've heard and taken just that soundbite of in 10 to 15 years, it takes 10 to 15 years, that will create a major young star problem where we're not going to have that in WWE. And you're going to have these people who are 40, 45, almost 50 still being at the top.
Yep. So, but Deadline was good. The one thing I wanted to bring up about Deadline was I was not a major fan of the Iron Survivor matches when they first happened. I think it was like 3 years ago. The first year it happened, I was kind of just like, okay. And then that was it. I like it now. Like, I like it a lot. A lot. Like, I'm like, yo, because they figured out how to book it. In essence, you need probably a certain type of talent in that type of match. But when I was watching it, I was like, no, this is one of the better matches WWE proper has right now. And maybe they flip out a War Games for Iron Survivor at Survivor Series at some point. It's that good.
And I'm glad you see it that way, because I thought you was about to rake me over the coals, because I was about to come on here and say that I love that match. And I came on here last week saying I didn't care for the Shark Tank, whatever it was in the War Games. Like, no, I like when you coming out, Shark Cages, whatever they call it. But I like this. I like the penalty box. I mean, like, that's pretty cool. That's kinda like a hockey reference. Like, my only thing about it when I told you, he's like, "You can't do that. It's just it'll be a cluster logistic flub." But when they have to go in the penalty box for so many, however, 90 seconds, I
90
think it is,
seconds. Yep, minute and
it
a half.
starts from the moment that they, take the pin. I want it to be full 90 seconds from the moment they get their ass in that penalty box, not from the moment that they take the pin, but like that'd just be just too much to try to figure out and book. But I it brings such an excitement. And every time we see one of these, it's gonna be like 2 to 3, if not all of them, all with one pin. It's gonna be the matter of that last moment, and it's something about that. We know we're in the last 15 seconds and someone has to win. And then it seems like each year they have gotten better at making it more of a surprise, more of on the edge of the seat as we get there. And I think for these last 2 that we saw on Deadline, they did a fantastic job, and these are young people who got the timing right, who's not, like, just there waiting, like, that is one of those things that tools you put in that toolbox of learning wrestling and coming in and pinning with 2 seconds left on the clock. That's incredible. Anything can happen. You could trip on your way over, before you go for the cover. So I thought that these 2 matches is really exciting for me. It keeps me excited by watching and seeing them in there, and then seeing even Javon coming out of it. Like, all of that is cool too. I like that part of it. But I didn't want to sound like a hypocrite because I don't care about the shark cages. Now, maybe could have been before the war games I've watched, the shark cages is way at the top of the ramp where the penalty boxes are right next to the ring. Maybe that could be the difference of what I'm feeling. It feels more intimate, so it's busier versus such a long walk. But yeah, give me the Survivor Iron Series, whatever they call it, matches
No,
more
well, I
than the
mean,
war
one,
game.
the shark cage is meant to hold the wrestlers there until it's time for them to get into the match. The penalty box, you're
Mhm.
already in the match.
Mhm.
Completely different styles, and yeah, they're all both boxes. But yeah, no, I thought it was great. And the other thing that you can do with it too is because you have the pinfalls we saw on NXT next week. The guys outside of Javon, because he cashed in his title shot and lost because of Ricky Saints, who is now a heel, and that was done tremendously as well. Um, they're now the guys, because they all had one fall apiece at
Okay.
Deadline. They're in the Fatal 4-Way next week to see who takes on Obafemi at New Year's Evil in January. You can even do things like that, right? Where with
That's
War
awesome.
Games, first pin is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, "Oh, you
And it's a
dominated in
team.
War Games" or something
Mhm.
like that, right? But now they're using the results of that match, not even the finish of the match, to book things in the future. So kudos to Shawn Michaels and whoever is coming up with that match and booking it. But it was really good. Like, now for me, that's something that I'm gonna make sure I watch every single year.
I would say this before we leave here. I remember the first one, I think it was about 3 years ago, that we watched, and they put the rules up on the TV screen. I was like, "What?" Like,
Yeah,
I
it was
was
a
not
lot. It was a
I
lot.
couldn't
Yeah,
understand what was happening.
yeah.
So it feels so much better now, but I just
I remember
that memory in my head, I was like, "What?
I
I'ma
remember just
just
watching
watch
the first
it."
one. I just remember watching the first one, and I just kept saying, "Hmm." Like, I was, like, you're trying to take it in. You just like, "Hmm, hmm,
Yeah,
hmm."
like, "Hmm."
Yeah, that was kind of where I was at. I'm
Yeah.
in it. I'm in it now, though. I'm in it.
Yeah, it's good.
We got to give a shout out to The Rock. Congrats to The Rock for his Golden Globe nomination for the Smashing Machine. I did think it was pretty funny that WWE didn't promote this movie one damn second, which is probably one of the reasons why I didn't do well at all at the box office. But as soon as he gets the Golden Globe nomination, oh man, let's go ahead and put up a graphic
Oh,
and,
come
oh
on.
no, congrats to The Rock for his. It's like, nah.
Oh,
I'm sure there's
come on.
business ties involved. I get that, but it's like, no. Triple H was like, no, we're not promoting the movie. He didn't show up in Mania. Screw Dwayne. But shout out to The Rock. I'm still excited to see the movie. We haven't watched it yet, but I wanted to see it like at theaters. We just had too much going on, and other
Life
movies came
happened.
out too that I
Mhm.
wanted to see. But
Mhm.
yeah, shout out to that. Anything else on WWE, Rhodesia, that you got before I bring up Mercedes losing her title to Red Velvet, one of her titles?
She's not in her mama's kitchen. Yeah, this is just something for I just wanna get out. I'll be vulnerable right now. But recap shows for me, are not good. So what I mean by that is like these wrestling episodes, like the SmackDown recap, the Raw recap. Yeah, it gives you like the facts, the results of what
You talking about
happened.
like the ones on YouTube?
Yeah, like it gives you the facts and the results of what happened. Like, okay, well, we know AJ Styles won, whatever. But it doesn't do really anything else other than that. It gives you just enough information to be dangerous. So I could just sit up here and I could probably have a whole blown out argument conversation about something that happened on one of these shows and be completely wrong just because I saw how the match ended. Like these recap shows kind of is garbage. So I know there's the clicks and views and all that stuff, but people don't rely on the recap show. You're probably better off the old fashioned way, taping the whole thing. I mean, or DVRing it, whatever it's called nowadays, and just fast forwarding through it, and then stopping when you think you see something good versus just watching these recap shows.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you to point A to point B, but like we turned on the SmackDown recap show and they didn't show the Cody Ricky Oba interaction. They didn't show the Bayley Ruka interaction. They didn't show Jade Squash. It was just a lot they were missing, and it was like 13 or 14 minutes. And they didn't even like really give a lot of the match of Gunther and LA Knight. So once again, it's like, hey, you can watch that just to find out the results from the show, but you're still kind of missing some stuff.
Bleacher Report for that. I can go somewhere else and just look at the.
Yeah,
I would feel.
They don't even
actually
make those like 19, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten better recaps from going to a place like a Bleacher Report where they would kind of give their certain commentary in the match and what happened in that show. Like that to me is a 15-minute read. I'd rather do that, and I hate reading than to ever watch another recap show again, like truthfully. If I can't just watch it and fast forward through it, like to me, I just feel like I wasted my time because I just have data dumped in my brain and I really don't even know how to process it.
It's a process. Man, I watched that damn video. Gave me PTSD. There was a video somebody put up on X yesterday about like meetings in the like wow.
Like the Zoom
they
calls
all just sound the same, man. Like the people
dreadful.
like HR and like it says your first meeting at your 9 to 5 after failing in entrepreneurship, and the guy like he's about to just blow his brains out, and she's just going on and on and on about like anybody who's worked in a work setting completely.
And sometimes the deliverables may contain assets. So
Deliverables.
I want us to kind of understand what the scope deliverable asset kind of treat as, because this is the work
What does
that
that
you'll
even
have
mean?
to do.
Yeah, man. My God. So you said process. I remember working with somebody before, and they would always say process. It's like, no, it's process.
Hey, Insider, ever since you told me that years ago, anytime I've been in an interview and I use the word process, I got offered a job the same day.
Of course you did. Because you're doing deliverables. That's why. You part of the problem. God.
They recorded me talking on one of my conference calls.
How you suck. Mercedes, the downfall has began. She lost her ROH title, or one of them, because I think Athena's still an ROH champion, to Red Velvet. And hopefully they have a plan, because I think this can be one of the most entertaining things in all of wrestling in 2026 when she starts losing all these titles. I think hopefully this is a planned thing. I don't want her out there working great matches. I want her so paranoid and so freaked out that these matches aren't the best at all. She's losing these titles. She don't know who to trust. I just think they have a tremendous opportunity with the downfall of Mercedes Moné and getting rid of all these titles. I hope that there was an in-game plan for this. You would hope so. Like if I'm going everywhere and win these titles, what's the end game? Well, I mean, outside of this is going to go down in history. I don't know if anybody else at her stature will ever be able to get so many titles in so many different spots all at the same time. But outside of that, now that it's time to start dropping these titles, I want them to go all in on this. This could be an entire 2026 storyline. It could be tremendous.
I love it. But like you said, it has to be done to where she is still, I almost called her Sasha. She is still Mercedes. But like, if it's more of it's her fault, not necessarily like her matches is bad and people are just better than her. It's more of like, oh, I'm in my head too much and I'm losing these matches. Like you said, a whole blow up. Who is my friend? Everybody's out to get me. The paranoid side of it. I can see that being some very, very good watching TV. Other than that, just her dropping it everywhere, like that would be like, ugh, that'd be kind of bad. But you would hope, especially since she has her own creative team or she consults with someone that helps write her stories. They would think that, or they would listen to the TFW pod and they're like, okay, yep, here we go. I like this idea.
Mm-hmm. MJF should be back sooner rather than later on TV too. They said that he was planning to factor in the World's End, which is the end of this month. I'm excited for that. MJF is you can always tell when he's not on AEW TV. Like, he's missed. I don't think he's not, to me, at the level of, like, I used to always say, like, the way Hangman goes, AEW goes. I don't think, like, he's there with that. There's different positions, but you can see when MJF's not on TV, like, he's missed. So I'm excited to see him back.
I just hope that this time around they put him into something that's I could sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
That I'll just leave it at that. I just hope that they're prepared for him and they have something for him, because we go back talking about like the star. So we go to even Mark Henry comment about the 10 or 15 years. You would have been foolish not to ever have put in the championship on MJF. And again, I don't know when he started wrestling, but he's young. He's a young guy.
But he's the one for him to, if he had not went to AEW, he went to WWE. And as good as he is now, a lot of his stuff that he could do in AEW, he does do, you can't do in WWE. But he's talented enough that he would figure that out and he would work within the confines of that system. But to say like somebody as great as he is
had to wait 10 years.
You got man. Oh, I can see you world champion in 8-9 years. Come on, man.
Ooh.
Nah.
That'd be silly.
Yep.
Blueprint, I can give you Blueprint. You gotta have 10 years under your belt of wrestling experience. I can give you that. But when that shooting star comes, you can't stop the shooting star. The only thing you can do is try to grab onto the whatever, the stardust that floats after it. That's more of a comment, but never mind. Sorry. Sorry.
I guess that's it. We ain't got nothing else. Well, I don't have anything else. What you got? You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm gonna really just be crying when I watch John Cena's final match, and I wonder if he's gonna shoot cry or if he's gonna corny cry. But
or if he's gonna cry at all. I mean, I just hope they do it right. Like I want it all. I don't want to walk away from it. I don't want to walk away Saturday night after that show's over and say I wish they would have. I want everything. I want the match. I want everybody on the stage or in the ring afterwards. I want him with the microphone. I want it all. I want everything. Leave no stone unturned.
And Netflix, don't cut off his thing. We're not gonna go Goldberg Volume 2 on here. Nope. You gonna give John Yachty.
It's Peacock, and so I mean they probably still gotta. They're not on national TV, so they may have a little bit of wiggle room now.
Well, however you got to figure that out, Paul Levesque, you make sure that he gets his time to how long he wants to talk until he's blue in his face, that you let him talk where we can hear.
He did say that he almost lost it when Punk told him in the ring, I'm going to miss you. Yeah, he was like, I almost lost it. He said, I had to do everything to keep it together.
He is an actor, so maybe he will be able to hold in his emotion. But hell, fuck it. Let it out, John. Cry, boo-hoo. I want to see you weep.
Yeah, but I don't like that either, right? Like, hold it
but
in.
But if it's true to him in that moment. Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Don't hold it in.
I watched, I don't know why I still had it saved. It was, actually, I think he was on the red carpet for Smashing Machine. And Rock and Ava.
Okay.
And Rock was talking about how proud he was of Ava. And he got choked up. He had to walk away for a second. And she says to him, you got it. Not man up. You got it. What did she say? You got it. Push through or something like that. And he repeated it and he got himself together. But it's like, I don't know if as humans we're supposed to suppress our emotions as much as we do. Right? Like, if that's a moment where he cries, I think everybody would understand, right?
You're not gonna lose a
But-
job because of it.
Yeah.
You might get more jobs,
but they're in this
actually.
professional setting and
Yeah.
doing an interview, and it's like, all right, lock in. Lock in is what she said.
Lock in. Yep.
Lock in. Okay, so then if I can't cry talking about how proud I am of my daughter, that she is in the business that I grew up in, that I love, and she never once called me to say, hey, Dad, can you call whoever to get me a spot here or to talk them into making me this, when she's did it all on her own. If you can't cry in that moment, talking about how proud you are of your family, your daughter, when is it then okay to cry? Right? Like, so I know other people took it differently, but when I took that, like, I was a little, I took that as like sadness a little bit of like, yo, we can't even show vulnerability and crying at the happiest moments because we got to lock in. It's just, damn, man, like, that's whatever.
So
That'd be on the new podcast
yeah,
that we do, deep dive stuff like that.
you thought Cody cried, fans. Y'all haven't seen Rhodesia. I watched one sad Save Your Pets commercial, and I'm done. I watched
tell her,
like
yeah,
5
she
seconds
cries all
of
the time
reels.
over movies, TV shows, commercials, but she don't drop a tear for me. That's fine. We'll talk about that too. You know what I mean? I got a list. I got a list for you.
Oh, I have a list for you too.
All right, let's get out of here. We'll be back next week. And maybe we'll figure out we'll do some type of John Cena topic, right? Because it'll be all the way over. I don't want to do like favorite match or favorite moment. It's too many. I'm sorry. Like, I don't even know where you begin. I saw there was a list of like top 10 matches that he's had and top 10 feuds. That's all fun to look at. I don't want to do that though. But we'll do something John Cena related. We have to, right? It's over. Next time we do the podcast, it's over.
Yeah.
He did say though, he realizes, and he's right, that like once it's over, it's over. Like he's actually, in his words was, nobody's gonna give a fuck. He's like, they're gonna move on. He's like, Raw on that Monday is gonna be wherever they are. And he's like, people are gonna move on. That's just what it is. Yeah. So hey, we love you though, Cena. Shout out to John Cena, man. Thank you for all those memories, even when you were squashing everybody and not putting them over properly. We appreciate you. The miles you drove, the promos you cut, the putting your body on the line for our entertainment. We appreciate it, my good sir. And we will be there to watch you this Saturday on your last match ever in professional wrestling.
At Saturday's night's main event.
And there you go. And until y'all, we out of here, man.
Follow us.
Yeah, follow us. Oh, see, and I forgot. I got to talk more about, and I know a lot of people don't listen. This is just typical in podcasts. They don't listen to the tail end of podcasts. They stop. But I got to start talking about liking and subscribing in the first part of this show. We get so many views and things, and we don't get, like, we need subscribes and likes because that's what helps the algorithm, like on YouTube. And on the audio side, comments. We need, not comments, but ratings. Ratings helps the algorithm. We doing a big, massive push on our product here over the next few months. So you are going to see more. You're going to hear more. Yep. Because we here now. So we out. Love y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you.